Well, here we are. I'm having another go at this decoupaging of the paper napkins. This is the bright little one that I've been using, and I really like that design. I've made so far, even though the results were not good, I've made a couple of cards. One was a birthday card that was shown in another video, and this was the second one I made. It's almost the same, but this time it's got a black border, and it's for me to send to a cousin who's just lost her mum on the mainland. So, but I was quite pleased with the way that turned out. It looks nice. It looks just as nice on a thinking of you card as it does on a birthday card. Auntie Gwen loved a garden, so I thought that was appropriate. Now I've got a couple of pieces of paper here because I think that the paper is important, as I said before. I haven't got much in the way of serviettes apart from that bright one and a couple of others. I've got this chooky one, which no doubt you'll see more of because I've got some more of that to do. The one I did this afternoon with the very thick transparency. This, I found a nice thin one in my box of other bits, and I'm anxious to try that, so I've got these little bits out to try that. But there's the result of the one I did this afternoon. It's not too bad. It's nice and smooth. There's a few little wrinkles for interest. You can see the music through the chookies, so that's a usable piece. I'll be able to use that. And it's quite matte, which is quite nice. It'll make a good tag or a pocket or partial page or all sorts of things in a journal. So that turned out pretty well, even though it wasn't, it's not completely smooth, completely flat, but it was better than I've done so far. I am quite anxious now to try this one. There's my piece of paper, there's my film, and I'm just going to, this is just a rather nasty grey and pink napkin because it's got a sweet little bird, and a lily from the same one, so I think I'll do them both. See how we go with that. It might be being a bit oops. I always have trouble with this lid, it gets gummed up. Okay. Might be being a bit optimistic to try the two, but let's see how we go. Got my wood glue and water there, the PVA glue. Pull that off because it's not going to sit flat. There we go. Now, flip it over, put it down on the page, and give it a good rub onto the paper. Now we'll try and roll this off. much easier than the last one with a fat piece of, whoops, it's actually lifting up the book page. I think it must have had not quite enough glue on it. Just sticking to the paper. Better get that washed off quickly. Now that's a lot better. That is much smoother, despite the fact that I bungled it a little. There's very little wrinkling in that. Well and good. I wonder if I can use this for the cookies. Let me just see. Put it on this area here where it's fairly clean. Where's not want not? Get this on before it starts to dry. Rub it on. Smooth out all of those little wrinkles. Wowzers, look at that. It worked. Well, thank you, Sigita. I think we might have cracked it. That looks lovely. I'm off to wash my acetate. Here we are the next day. These are all dried beautifully, and I was late going to bed, so I popped them into my Webster before I went to bed, and this is the first one I did using the thick piece of acetate. And I've got both here. You probably can't tell, you won't be able to see it. Showing you something that's transparent is pretty stupid, isn't it? But this is the thick one, and I think this might have been, I've got a couple of sheets of this in my other bits box, and I think it's old-fashioned overhead projector film. I don't even know if such things exist these days. It might be a... but it's quite thick, and you can see it doesn't really like to bend up on itself. This other piece, and I've got several sheets of this for some reason, I don't know where it came from, but it is much easier to bend very close on itself. It's much softer. It's probably about half the thickness of the other. And that worked an absolute dream. That's the first one. You can see it's got quite a bit of texture, and sometimes texture is what you want. You don't necessarily want it to be completely flat and completely textureless, but that was using the thick piece of acetate, and it was a little tricky to get off because it wasn't rolling back smoothly on itself and allowing the sticky wet napkin piece to cling to the paper. It sort of wanted to pull it off. So it was a little tricky to get off. But a good outcome, I'm happy. And these are the ones using the thin piece of acetate, which rolled off. You can still just feel the different texture, but they are so smooth and so well adhered, I can hardly believe it. You can't feel the edge between the paper and the napkin. Over here there's a little bit of a bump and you can feel that, but the rest of it, I think if you do it with your eyes shut, you can just tell where the edge is, but that's it. I'm so happy I finally cracked it. And this piece on the white paper, which was part of an old Bridal Fashions book, is the same. It's just delightful. It's smooth, it's very usable, so I'm quite happy. So thank you so much, Sigita, for your tutorial. I'm not sure, I think she says in her video that it's not her idea, so whoever thought of it and passed it on to Sigita, who passed it on to me, I thank you very much. I'm a happy person this morning. That's it. I'll show you some more once I get things done, but that's it from me for today. Hopefully another short video. Bye for now.